chaise. I mean, you have the early Perrion chair, then you have this, then you have similar line later in the 60s by Olivier Moore called the Gin series, which is what you saw in Stanley Kubrick's Odyssey.
These are chairs by Simon Hasan. He's a British designer. This is boiled leather, which is a very medieval technique. By boiling the leather, it makes it hard, so it's almost like plastic. In the 15th century, they would use this type of leather to create shields and helmets, breastplates. So we are taking a really medieval technique and turning it into a very contemporary chair. So in this case, it's boiled leather on top of a stainless steel base. This chair costs $18,000 US and was produced just last month.
This is a very specific piece called Alone in a Crowd.
How many editions of this table are there?
This is a unique piece.
One piece.
Yeah.
Really beautiful, unique conversation piece. It would be an incredibly wonderful dining room table.
Same designer. He does a series of 17. He calls them dome lights. But every piece is different. So we have here Addictus or Addict Us. Look at inside there. There is a whole kind of chemistry laboratory inside. Then we have Bullus. This is a skeleton of a chicken. And here we have Aratus Maximus. It's very poetic works.
Jonathan Monk is an artist who works around appropriation. He works around the history of art, and in this case he has taken the bookshelf 1984 by Donald Judd, which is still edited today, and he just put it flat, reorganized all elements, played with the Donald Judd colors, and it's become an object on itself. You don't really feel anymore that it's a late, flat library. And it's really funny because the Donald Judd Foundation came by and we were like, what's going to happen? But they were really happy about the project, and because all of these artists who work around Donald Judd, it still stays a matter of respect.
They're all handmade, and the pièce unique basically has a large or loose idea, and it builds around it. When the process is finished, it dips it into a bath, electroplated, and then that's what gives the finish on it. So this guy is pretty great. He wants to really kind of push the boundaries of functional versus art. When you look at it, it's all about this notion of perspective.
This is by the Italian designers that go under the name FormaFantasma, who just recently graduated from the Design Academy in Eindhoven in the Netherlands. They are true conceptualists, and they really, as designers, I think they really border on what is art and what is design. Their idea was to use the most inexpensive material that they could get their hands on to produce a table, but also making it into a very sort of rarefied object. So they were sort of interested in the contradiction and the tension that exists between the high and the low. What they've done here is it started with the idea to make for a very elaborate encasement for a very inexpensive IKEA clock that you see here. So they used, again, employed the same material of this very inexpensive chipboard. And the idea here also is that this can go inside this, which can go inside here. So the three of them sort of become exactly like a space saver, if you will. This to me speaks really of the 21st century. And again, it goes back to the idea of sustainability and employing really the most readily available materials. This here you could take home for a very good price of €20,000.
Every piece is a unique piece because every customer give us the space they want to fill, and then the designer does a project for them, showing the specific colors, a desk, a console, or a buffet. It's an installation of valisas.
This is a cake stool by the Campana brothers, two Brazilian brothers, and they've done this special piece with different teddy bears all together. So you have a special composition, and each piece is unique. They are doing the piece themselves and then bring them back to Europe.
And how much would a piece like this go for?
€14,000. Actually, it's not a sculpture. It's really a mirror. It's furniture. The people who bought it are contemporary art collectors that want to have some special pieces in their home. Not regular pieces, but pieces that could, bring them somewhere else.
She designed this collection especially for us, that we are a gallery based in Rome.
Is it a functional piece?
Not really. Borderline between art and design.
This is all my pieces for this year. I want to use different ways, like traditional Chinese crafts, to make the concept funny and kitsch. Not only China has fake problems, the whole world has it. Like Milan, they have with 14, 15 fake furniture. So that's why I combine like the fake Ming and Qing dynasty Chinese furniture with European fake furniture.
How long did it take to make these?
Normally it will take like 45 days because all handmade, like flowers are all handmade. It's very difficult to make this kind of flowers.
We are a gallery based in Milan, the name is Demisch. We are there since 30 years. Normally used to work with bronze fusion, and they realized really interesting collection in the past also, no? And for example, they use the bronze fusion like in gold or green patinated in a limited edition. This is the number 0, the Proxy series. And then there are other 6 editions available.
Yet this structure here is very clear and same to the 1950s, 60s, and then the bulb. One of the most ironic pieces.
Ironic pieces, absolutely.
It's a functional sculpture because it provides light, and yet it's also art. How much would it cost to take something like this home?
Yes, it costs 35,000
€35,000.